Welcome to the Full Court Entertainment Podcast. I'm your host, Sheldon Moore, and we are going to do a winners and losers of the NBA of the 2024 NBA draft. Obviously, it happened last night, and a lot of people are saying they don't know who's in this draft, who's number one pick. This draft's boring. They saying all that, and it is a lot of people saying that because this isn't a star-studded type NBA draft. Like you really don't know a lot of these players, but I did. I knew a couple of them, and that I was like, okay, he's good. He's good. Really don't know him like that, but I've seen him play a couple of times. But seeing him get drafted, I was like, he's a good fit. He's a good fit for this specific team. So I'm just gonna start off the winners of the NBA draft. In my opinion, these are my winners. And the first winner of the draft is I think the Atlanta Hawks they are a winner and only because that you got probably the best versatile wing in the draft and Zachariah Richardson, 6'9" versatile wing, can play defense, can shoot to an extent, but I think he needs to be a better shot creator. And you don't know like what the Hawks are gonna do at the four position. You do got Jalen Johnson there, but what are you gonna do with DeAndre Hunter? And are you trading Trey Young or DeJounte Murray? And then you can just put him in there. If you do trade DeJounte, Zachariah Richardson is just gonna start from day one. So I think that the Hawks are a winner. I gave it a B minus. I feel like if they would have drafted Alex Sard, they probably would have got an A. But I gave it a B minus because it's like this draft isn't star studded. So you picking I feel like it is like a hit or miss, but you can't miss in this draft. Like he is the best versatile wing. So I'm gonna say go for him. So I gave the Hawks a B minus on the Zachariah Richardson pick. My next winner, I'm gonna give the Wizards a I gave the Wizards an A because he is probably the best prospect in this draft. Obviously, he didn't want to work out with the Atlanta Hawks because they have a logjam at center. He doesn't know if they're trading Capella or is he going to probably start over Congo or playing next to him. He doesn't know that. So he didn't work out for the Hawks. And I mean, I get it. That's understandable. I get it. That's understandable. And the Wizards was right there. Obviously, the Wizards got holes in their team. Needed a center. Need a forward. You traded Danny Avnia last night. Need a point guard. So they had a lot of holes to fill. And getting the best prospect in this draft with Alex Sar, I thought that was a I thought that was a good move. And he doesn't have to fight against nobody. He doesn't have to go against anybody. He's gonna have the ball. Probably you can honestly say on this team at least he's probably the second best player. It's still Kyle Kuzma until if they trade him, or if you want to say Jordan Poole. But the Wizards, they got their big man in the future. He's 7 foot 224. It could be a little bit stronger, but good defensive big. I think his offense could be better, but I think he'll get better at that. But getting a best prospect, I feel like you got to get an A. Another winner, in my opinion, the Timberwolves. I think the Timberwolves, as of right now, I think they won the draft. The Timberwolves traded for the 8th pick. Obviously, to some people with the Spurs, that's a head scratcher, but I'll get to the Spurs. I'll get to them in a minute. But grabbing Rob Dillingham in with the 8th pick, and all you did was give up a 2031 pick. Now we don't that's what's that in 7 years? That's in like 7 years. So we don't even know who that person is gonna be or if they're gonna be a star or not. But getting another dynamic scorer that's coming off your bench. Now, obviously Mike Conley is there, but Rob Dillingham can score with the best of them. He got good handles for a guard. The only problem is he's small. He's a small guard. And I feel like some people might say last in the playoffs last year, scoring was one of their biggest problems. If they had him, probably would it be different? I'm not gonna say that, but if you could get another dynamic scorer off your bench and maybe even play him in clutch time for the Timberwolves, I think that's a plus. And with that, I gave the Timberwolves, I give them an A. Like I think that was a great move moving up, getting like basically their point guard of the future to pair with Anthony Edwards, who is also still out. Anthony Edwards is only like 22. So you're pairing him with another young guard, and that could potentially be the backcourt of the future. And also Terrence Shannon Jr. Terrence Shannon Jr. was one of the best players in college last year. So getting him late with the 27th pick, I thought that was a steal. And I know he had the off court stuff, the off the court stuff, but getting a score like that, explosive wing, he will definitely get better at it. But I want to see if the Timberwolves are gonna play him. Are they gonna play him enough minutes? Like if he can play, if he can get on the court, I think that's a steal. I'm telling you, I think that's a steal for the Timberwolves. They're solidifying their bench, and I get the move to B plus. I definitely get the move to B plus. I definitely thought it was I thought it was a good move. So and overall, Timberwolves in the first round, they really get an A. But the two moves itself, Rob Dillingham, the Timberwolves get an A for Rob Dillingham and a B plus for Terrence Shannon Jr. And the Spurs. I think they did a good job. They got what they need. They got a dynamic guard. He can score. Shooting wise, he has to get better at that with his confidence, but he could play defense. He could do all that. And I think that's what they was missing. And I think Stephon Castle is actually gonna give Wemby the ball. And he does have Devin Vassell. I think Keldon Johnson will be gone. But you have Jeremy Sohan there. You obviously have Victor Wembanyama. So he has the players around him. And then he's on the Spurs. Like, I don't expect the Spurs to really be that good this year. So he's going to have time to fix his mistakes. But I think this was a really good move for the San Antonio Spurs. I gave the move, I gave it an A. I really thought they got the move. And a lot of people, they probably would have thought Rob Dillingham to the Spurs too, because they did draft him, but then they traded the pick. I didn't see the point of having like two guards like that. Could it have worked? Maybe, but you do also have Devin Vassell. That means later down the line you have to put Devin Vassell at 3. I don't know if the Spurs really want to do that, but having Stephon Castle and Rob Dillingham, that would have been dynamic, and then pairing them with Wemby would have been dynamic. But I didn't really get it. Like I didn't see the point of drafting two guards. Now, if they could have drafted a big with that 8 pick, okay, that's cool. But draft two guards, no, I'm good on that. But Spurs get an A for the Stephon Castle pick. Another winner, somewhat of a winner, the Memphis Grizzlies grabbing Zach Edey. I think that the Grizzlies, I think they would have preferred Donovan Clingan. I think he's just more athletic than Edey. I said Edey. I think he's more athletic than Edey, and he just moves better. Like Zach Edey, he moves pretty. He's a little slow, but in the combine, he was shooting more, which can help him develop his game more. And playing with the Grizzlies, like I want to know what they're gonna do. Like I think they're a little fast paced team, obviously, and will the Grizzlies start him from day one? Because honestly, the Grizzlies don't have no big, and that's the only reason why I gave him like a decent grade, because you did need a big. Like we gotta be serious. You did need a big, and you basically got in some people's eyes either the second or the third best big in the draft. So that's why I gave it a C minus, because I don't know if he was the preferred big they want, but they still got it. In my eyes, I think Zach Edey's a decent big. But I wonder, are they gonna, like I said, are they gonna start him right away, or is they gonna start Jaren Jackson at center? Then later in the season, they might, put Edey at center to see how he plays. But they did needed a big, but maybe not the preferred big they want. But I still gave them like a passing grade. I gave them a C. I gave them a C minus. Another good grade. the Lakers getting Dalton Connect. Now, Dalton Connect, they said that the reason he was sliding down the draft boards is because of his age. Me personally, I feel like that shouldn't matter because I just saw Jaime Jaquez get drafted and he's a little bit older in the NBA world. So I feel like that shouldn't matter. Dalton Connect was definitely one of the best scorers, best players at Tennessee and SEC in general. He was one of them, and the Lakers just got him with the 17th pick. I thought he was gonna be long gone. I was shocked that he landed at 17. I think he can help with the dynamic scoring and the shooting for the Lakers. I think that's something they need. The only problem is will the Lakers actually play him? You know, the Lakers get a lot of draft picks and they really don't play him. Like Jalen Hood Shafino last year. He didn't even play. But I think Dalton Connect, I think he helps them on the scoring side because they need another score. Like, yeah, you got LeBron, AD, and Austin Reeves is there too, but you just need another one. And if D'Lo is gone, you definitely gonna need one. So I gave the Lakers for the Dalton Connect pick. I think it's still a good pick, but I get a grade. I gave them a B plus. I definitely thought it was a good pick of it, especially you got him so low that it's like you can't pass on that. Like, so I gave the Lakers a B plus for the Dalton Connect pick. Another winner, I think the Heat getting Khalil Ware. Like, obviously the Heat have had problems with like centers. Like, you know, they really don't have a lot of bigs, and getting Khalil Ware, who is 6'11", at two, yeah, I think he can. He's gonna have to get a little bit stronger. I think it was like 220 or 30, something like that. But if he does start from day one, then you can move Bam to his original position at power forward. Now, will he do that? Will Eric Spoelstra do that? I don't know. I think they're gonna have Khalil Ware coming off the bench for a little bit, and then maybe down the line he starts for the Heat. But good rim protector. Uh, he can score, and I just think that's what the Heat been needing. You know, they kind of lacking the size, and I think he kind of fits the Heat culture. But the pick wise, I gave it a B. I definitely think Khalil Ware to the Heat is a good pick. The last winner is, I think, the Chicago Bulls. I think getting Matassa Bazelis, I think that's a good fit. Like the Bulls, I think they're going into rebuild, and you do have Kobe White, Josh Giddey, Io, and now you add probably one of the most versatile versatile players in the draft, and I think he can just go through his mistakes in Chicago. They're not gonna win. And I think he just needs to shoot a little better. But outside of that, I think he's decent at. But my Talis Bazelis to the Bulls, his hometown team, I give it an A. I think it was a good pick. And especially it wasn't really a slide, but you know, a lot of people had him kind of going high, but he got into the early teens. So I think that was a good pick. Now the losers of the NBA draft, in my opinion. I think a lot of people have like the Rockets as winners, but for me personally, I think the Rockets are. It's like they are a loser only to me because Reed Shepard, he's not gonna start. He's not gonna start right away. And when is he gonna get the minutes? Like the Rockets have a lot of depth. Like Fred's gonna start, Jalen Green's gonna start, Dylan Brooks is probably gonna start now, unless they make some trades. You know, then I can see something. You have Jabbar Smith, you got Sengun, then you come out, then you go on the bench. You got Cam Whitmore there. You still got Tari Eason, Reed Shepard, Min Thompson. Like, where is the minutes gonna come? Now he's a great 3-point shooter and can handle the ball, but defense kind of iffy a little bit. But I still think he is a good player. I just don't think that they really, I think they really just got like best available player, and it's nothing wrong with that, but I just don't know where he's gonna get like the playing time. Now maybe the next couple of years, I think when he gets like good minutes and all that, consistent minutes. When he gets consistent minutes, I think he'll be better because maybe they move off Jalen Green. Fred, I think he won't be back after next year. So maybe around then. But for now, I'm giving the Rockets a D. Um, the Blazers. Me personally, I think Donovan Clingan. I think he's a good player. Nothing against that, but you already have DeAndre Ayton. Like, is DeAndre Ayton not there? Even though DeAndre Ayton doesn't have the motor, to some people, he doesn't. He doesn't have that motor. You still have a good center, and DeAndre Ayton, in my opinion, he's still pretty young. DeAndre Ayton he's only 25. Like, he's only 25. Now, to some that might be old, but 25 is still pretty young. So it's like, I don't know why you draft the center, and it's like you really don't need guards. So I think you should have tried to at least grab the four. Maybe I think Dalton Connect at this pick would have been good, and then you could have traded out Jeremy Grant. But obviously, they see like DeAndre Ayton isn't the future. So grabbing Clingan for maybe if they trade DeAndre Ayton this year or the next year in the offseason, okay, I'm cool with that. But for now, he's really just a backup center. And I don't think they really need another center. I think they really needed a forward. So I gave it a D. Like, I just don't think it was I don't think it was necessary to draft him at that spot. I didn't think so. The Thunder, in my opinion, I think they're a loser. Like, Nikola Topic, I think he's a good player. Yes, he did have the partial ACL, but like he can handle the ball. Good passer. I think he needs to shoot better a little bit, but besides that, I still think he's a good player. But a lot of people are saying they just replaced it, Josh Giddey with him. And where is he gonna get the minutes now? Like, is he gonna be the backup point guard? Like, you got Shea, you got Lou Dort, J Dub, maybe Caruso might start, and Chet. But Topic isn't gonna probably start the season right away. He might be out for maybe a month or two after the season starts. But you're playing with Shea, who has the ball basically majority of the time. Now you pair him, say, with the backups, you pair him with Case and Wallace in the backcourt. I mean, it's good, but I don't think they really need another guard. I think they should have probably drafted a big, the dude from Baylor, Messi. I think they could have drafted him out of Baylor. I think he could have been a good pick. But I give it, I give it like I'm giving it a high D. I give it a D minus. Like, it's I don't think they really need another ball handler. And obviously he was supposed to be a top pick, but the ACL, teams was like, I don't know. So that kind of like slid him down a little bit. But yeah, I gave the Thunder a D minus. I don't think that's a good pick. Another I would say another loser to an extent. I'm gonna say the Hornets. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I don't even know who this dude is. Tajay Saloon. Like, I don't know. Like, people are saying he's a raw prospect, and it's like, aren't you guys? Don't you need somebody that shouldn't take probably like 2 years? Maybe a rookie that can at least help you right now. That's what I would think. I would think they would do something around like that. So I don't think they needed a raw talent to pair with LaMelo and Brandon Miller and Mark Williams and all them. So I don't know. They could have traded that pick and probably got more picks, but they kept the pick, and I don't know. Like that, I don't think that was a good pick. I gave them an F. Like, that just wasn't a bad. That wasn't a good pick. I would say maybe the last loser of the draft. I don't think it's a loser. I would maybe the Pistons picking Ron Holland. Like, he has a lot of upside. Versatile wing. Uh, he can score to an extent. Shooting got to be a little bit better. Where is he gonna play? And then if he needs help on the scoring aspect, you got K. Obviously, he's the franchise, and you pairing him with Asur Thompson, who's not a good shooter. Jalen Durant, who can't shoot at all, Ron Holland, who is a suspect shooter, Jay Nivey. I think Jay Nivey can shoot, but he ain't the most consistent shooter. So I don't think that was like, I think they just needed like shooting. I felt like if they had a top pick, the Pistons, if they had top three, they would have gone after Reed Shepherd, and that would have been amazing. That would have been a good pick for the Pistons, in my opinion. Obviously, Reed Shepherd can shoot, another ball handler. That's what they need to surround with Cade. Another consistent shooter. They didn't do that. That's on them. But I'm gonna give it like a C minus, even though that's somewhat passing. But I just think the Pistons just needed shooting, and they didn't do that. But overall, the draft last night, there's a lot of like people you don't know, but the NBA draft is the NBA draft. You still get excited about who's getting who and trades and all that. But the draft itself was okay, and there's nothing wrong with that. All right, so that is it for the winners and losers of the NBA draft. So I want to talk about obviously the Knicks. They made a trade yesterday. Well, 2 nights ago. Yeah. They made a trade. Obviously, they get Mikal Bridges to team up with Jalen Brunson, Josh Hart, DiVincenzo Randle, OG Anunoby, all of them. And where would you guys rank the Knicks in either in the East or in the whole NBA? At least for me in the East wise, I think as of right now on paper, they are the second best team. You got to put the champs in front. Boston is, I think they're far ahead of everybody else in the East at least. But the Knicks, getting back OG Anunoby, Mikal Bridges, they have the wing defenders now. This is what they want. They're trying to beat Boston. They do see Milwaukee and Philly, but they like, yeah, y'all okay, but we ain't really worried about y'all. We only worried about Boston. That's who we worried about. And I think they're better than Milwaukee. Milwaukee has moves to do. Philly, they got to figure out who's going to be on their roster. They really only got 3 players, and that's Paul Reed, Joel Embiid. They're going to sign Maxey, so I'm counting him. And everybody else in the East, they're better than them. They're better than everybody else in the East, so I'm not worried about them. But this move is a championship move. They know they're going to be in the second apron for at least some years, but they don't care. They want to win a championship. They're trying to beat Boston. They're trying to get past them. And if they can get past Boston, they have a good chance of whoever comes out the West, they could potentially beat them in the finals. Like when it gets later in the summer and we do like power rankings and all that, I'll tell you this. The Knicks might be in the top 5. And I never thought I would say that because the Knicks, they've been good the past like couple of years, but at least since my time, I've always seen the Knicks as really like bad. Like not like super bad, but they've been a bad team. The only times they were good was now and when Melo was there. That was it. After all that, they haven't been good. So the Knicks, they're not better than Boston. I think the only thing with Boston, like they have the offense and the defensive players and they can switch. But the Knicks got it too. You got Mikal Bridges. Like, if I had to do something right now, I think OG Anunoby would probably guard Jason Tatum. Mikal would guard Jaylen Brown. That's how I think it would go in their offense. If Julius Randle, he hasn't been good in playoffs, but if the Knicks are healthy and they can get a consistent Julius Randle, the Knicks are a problem. And Jalen Brunson, I'm not worried about him. Jalen Brunson's gonna ball. He showed in these playoffs like he's an up and coming star in the league, and he's ready to go up against anybody. And I think it could be definitely be a 7-game series against the Boston Celtics. And you can argue that that it's either between Jalen Brunson or Jason Tatum as the 2 best players. Like, who are the best players? Who is the best player in that series? You can argue it. Like, you really can. I would still go with Jason Tatum, but if anybody would have said Jalen Brunson, I'm not going to go up against that. Like, I'm really not. Now, when it comes in the whole league, I'm not going to lie. I think the Knicks, they're definitely in the top 5. I might put the Knicks at number 3. I think it goes like, at least for me, I think it goes Boston, the Nuggets. I'm putting the Knicks at number 3 as of right now. Got to see what everybody else do. I think the Timberwolves should be up there, and the Bucks. I think those are, you can argue, say the top 5 teams in the league at least. Or you can put Dallas in there. Obviously, Dallas just went to the finals, but the Knicks, I think they could be really anybody in the West. The Nuggets will probably give them problems. If the Nuggets lose KCP, that's a loss. That's a loss. But them against the West, the only team I see them having a problem with is the Nuggets. I think they could beat Timberwolves. I think they could beat the Suns, Lakers, Clippers, Timberwolves. Timberwolves might be a battle. That would definitely be a defensive battle. But I think I would probably pick the Knicks and say they went to the finals. I would probably pick the Knicks. I'm not gonna lie. But the Knicks, man, they're for real. And I said it yesterday. I said this might be, in my lifetime, the best roster they ever had on paper. Like, the Knicks just haven't done that in so long. And they finally are making legit championship moves. Let's see if they can get back Hartenstein. I don't know if he comes back, but I think they're good right now. I think they are good right now. They still need a backup big. I think they need another forward because Josh Hart and DiVincenzo and McBride, they're going to come off the bench. So they need some forwards and they need another backup big. And after that, they'll be perfectly fine. But the Knicks, man, they're ready and they think they can win a championship. But I'm glad the Knicks are definitely doing good because, like I said, we don't see them being good for this long. But we're gonna see them championship contender for the next like 4 years. Okay, so teams that need to make a move. The teams I think Milwaukee needs to make a move. I think that they're an older team. They're slow. I think they definitely need another like scoring option. You still got Giannis. Obviously, you still got Dame, and we really didn't see them we didn't see them both play in the playoffs. So we really don't know how it will work. We only saw Dame, and Dame was playing decent, then he got hurt. But Chris Middleton actually played good, but he's older. And the Bucks need to get more younger and more athletic. And they need to find a way. There was reports saying that they're trying to trim their roster and maybe trade like Brook Lopez. I wouldn't be shocked if they try to shop Chris Middleton. But I think the Bucks need to make a move if they want to. Like, they're still top 3, top 4 in the East, but they need to make a move if they want to be the best team in the East. Another team, the 76ers, I think they definitely, well, they have no choice because they don't have a roster. You need to figure out that Paul George is actually going to Philly. I just don't think he fits in Philly. He fits there. It's just that I just think he loves LA so much that he will leave. But I think Philly needs to make a move. They really don't have no roster. They need to figure out if they want to get Paul George. Then you could form this big 3 and then just have some role players. Or you can surround better role players with Tyrese Maxey and Joel Embiid. Like, they need to figure that out. But there's as long as Joel Embiid is healthy, yes, he gets hurt. But as long as Joel Embiid is healthy, they'll still be a contender in the East. And Tyrese Maxey, obviously, he's going to get better. So they'll get better eventually. But they need, the Sixers need to make a move. I did have the Knicks, but obviously they made a move. They got Mikal Bridges, so I'm going to skip them. The Clippers, they need to, they kind of do need to make a move to an extent. They need to see if Paul George is coming back. Are they going to resign James Harden? Because if Paul George does leave, and if you do just resign James Harden, that team is not a contender in the West. It's just not. You like Kawhi, you know there's a chance he might get hurt. Knock on wood, but there is a chance. And you don't know. And James Harden, let's be honest, he's been a playoff flopper in the playoffs. Like, he just has. And I feel like you need to re-sign Paul George. Like, if you got to go over a number or at least sign him to something significantly higher than what Kawhi Leonard got, man, just sign the dude, bro. Because y'all know y'all not going to win. Like, let's be serious. Y'all have had this dynamic duo for the past like 5 years and ain't done nothing. Y'all went to the conference finals one time, but that was and Kawhi was hurt. But ever since then, it's been first round, and they lost in the second round. That's when they blew a 3-1 lead. But they need to resign Paul George, and if they could get James Harden back, they need to get him back so they could be at least a contender in the West. Dallas kind of has to make a move, but I don't know if they could really make a move because, well, they really don't have trade assets. Like, you still got Kyrie, you still got Luka, PJ Washington, Daniel Gafford, Likely, Derek Lively. You still got all of them, but they just need another consistent scorer. Like, I think they thought, obviously, in the beginning of the year, Tim Hardaway would be that guy that averages probably like 60, 70 points, be a contention for 6 man a year. But he just wasn't that all year, and he definitely wasn't that in the playoffs. I think they just need another consistent score. Like, I saw a report saying that they're looking at Jeremy Grant. I think Jeremy Grant might be a good move. Trying to get him, and then he will definitely be a third scoring option. And there's nothing wrong with that. Jeremy Grant could definitely get you 20, but he won't need to get 20 because he has Kyrie and Luka on his team. So him averaging 17, 18 points, that is perfectly fine. And I think with that move, it gets them back to the finals. So I do think Dallas needs to make a move, but I don't know if they really can. If they are gonna try and trade Tim Hardaway, but overall, I don't think they can really make a move, but they do need to make one. The Suns do need to make a move because that roster just isn't good. And what you're trapped with basically Booker making 50 mil, Bradley Beal making 50 mil, and Kevin Durant basically making 50 mil. You're in cap hell, and there's really nothing you can do. Like, you can really only sign what tier D players. Like, yes, you have the big three, but you guys just got swept. And I thought that was gonna be a competitive series. I thought it was gonna go 7. I had the Suns winning, but obviously they got swept, so I was wrong on that. But hey, it is what it is. But they need to make a move, maybe try to get another center. But I don't know what more moves they can do. They definitely need a point guard though. You can't roll back with the Devin Booker and the Bradley Beal point guard combo. Like, no, we can't roll that back again. We gotta figure something out to get another point guard. So they definitely need to make a move, but with them basically the 3 players basically taking a majority cap, I don't know what moves they can really make, but they'll figure out. But they do need to get another point guard. The Kings, I think the Kings do need to make a move, and I think they just need another scorer. I saw a report saying that they're looking into Kyle Kuzma because remember they was trying to get Kyle Kuzma last summer. He didn't go. He resigned to Washington. I think Kyle Kuzma would be actually a good fit. Obviously, he will move to probably the 4. Keegan Murray be at the 3, but just getting another consistent score like Malik Monk. They resigned Malik Monk, and glad he got a contract. But Kyle Kuzma is just a better player. Kyle Kuzma could definitely give you 20. And De'Aaron Fox, he's only really like their only 20-point per game score. Like Sabonis, he can get 20, but not like consistent 20 all the time. I think he only averaged like 19 points. And he's gonna get them involved. And Kyle Kuzma, he's like a slashing type forward. So that would help put him next to Sabonis. I just think they need another consistent scorer because I feel like that's what they've been missing, like at least the past 2 years since they've been good. But the Kings, they're still going to be good, but I think they need to make a move. And the last team that needs to make a move is the Warriors. And I'll get into that later, but I think the Warriors need to make a move. The Warriors are just not good anymore, man. They're basically below average team. And Klay Thompson might leave. So that just leaves you with Wiggins, Draymond Green, and AirPods, and like scoring wise, that's it. Like, unless I'm forgetting somebody else on my head, but they just need another score. They need another score. And I hear they're trying to get Paul George, but if that would work. But they do need to get they need to get better. Like, and they need a big. Forget that. They need to try to get a big because that's what they've been lacking for the past years. It's a big. They're too small. And whoever team they face, like, if they had to face the Timberwolves probably sweep them. I ain't gonna cap. Timberwolves might sweep them. So I think they need to get a big, but there's really not a lot of bigs. Maybe trade for one, maybe like a Jonas Valanciunas or like a Clint Capella, try to get one of them. But the Warriors, they need to get a big. That is priority number one, trying to get a big. And in my opinion, those are the teams that need to make a move. So, but let me get into um the Warriors and they're trying to get Paul George. Like them getting Paul George, I was thinking about this earlier. I was like, okay, you're gonna have to trade people. They're gonna probably have to trade Wiggins because he has a decent contract. Chris Paul is supposed to get paid like $30 million, and they're and then it's only like it's half of it guaranteed. So they're gonna try and flip them to make room so you can sign Paul George. I saw a report saying $200 million for 4 years, and you pair Paul George, Steph Curry, and Draymond Green. That's majority. That's like basically kind of majority of their cap space. So where are you gonna get those other players? Oh yeah, Kuminga. I forgot about Kuminga. That's who it was. It was Jonathan Kuminga. If I'm the Clippers, I'm definitely asking for Kuminga, but Warriors, they're gonna try and keep him. But okay, Paul George, Steph Curry, Draymond Green, Jonathan Kuminga, AirPods, and other rookie players. I don't think that team is good enough to win in the West. I truly don't. I think that's basically bottom tier, and they might fight for a play-in? That's it. Like the Warriors, like bro, Steph Curry is still like basically great, and he probably has at least at this level probably about I'd say 3 years of this, maybe even 4 years of this great level, because he's gonna keep shooting regardless. Now, Paul George is definitely an upgrade over Klay Thompson. I'll get to Klay Thompson after this, but he's definitely an upgrade. But I just don't think that team is. I just don't think they can win a title with him. And let's just say they do get to the playoffs. You got Steph Curry and then Paul George. Like Paul George ain't been good in the playoffs either. And I would expect Kuminga to be way better. Like he was good last year. Don't get me wrong, but I expect him to take the next step. What's this, year 3? Year 3, I think, with Kuminga. So I don't think that's enough. If they had to face, say, the Nuggets, the Timberwolves, the Mavericks, all those teams, they're not better than them. I'm sorry, they're just not better than them. So they need. I wouldn't like. I'm not opposed of it. If he goes to Warriors, I think that would look nice. But I still don't think that team is good enough to win a championship. I'm sorry, the Warriors just not good, man. Like Steph Curry, I ain't gonna say wasting his years there, but that team can't win no championship with them. I think they're better, but title contention? Nah, they not title contention with that. Klay Thompson. I hear that he wants a lot of money, and it's about the years. He wants like 3 years on his deal, and I think teams are gonna probably give him maybe 2 years, maybe like 2 year with a player option, or just a 1 year deal that's probably worth like 25 million. I'm still on the stand saying I don't think he's worth 30 after this past year. Now, if he comes back this new year and he gets paid maybe 20 million, 25 million, and he shows out, I think Klay Thompson could definitely get that money. But I wouldn't be shocked if somehow he gets back to the Warriors. But him going to Orlando isn't bad. I still think Orlando needs a point guard. But if he does go to the Magic, I think that's a great fit. That's what the Magic was missing. They was missing a consistent shooter. Like Franz, he wasn't really good as a shooter this year. Jalen Suggs, he's kind of inconsistent on shooting. And Gary Harris, like it's Gary Harris, bro. Like he can shoot, but I need something better than him. And if you get Klay Thompson to replace him, it makes the Magic definitely a threat in the East. Now, are they better than obviously Celtics, Knicks, Bucks, and Philly? No, but if you want to slide them into that 5th seed where they was last year, the Magic were a 5th seed last year, and I think they're about there. Maybe even they could get the 4th seed, maybe. So Klay Thompson going to the Magic I'm not opposed to it. I think that would definitely be a good fit, but I want to see what they are going to give him. Like what's the contract going to be? But it's looking like Klay Thompson is not coming back to the Warriors, and obviously they got the history. They won 4 championships. But I think to him, the Warriors are just being disrespectful to him on contracts, and he's not rolling with that. So if he leaves, I don't blame him for leaving. I truly don't blame him for leaving. So, but Klay Thompson to the Magic, I'm not opposed to it. I think it would be a good fit, but I still think the Magic need a point guard. But the last team, not the last team, but the last player I'm gonna talk about, Jimmy Butler. Obviously, there was rumors that Jimmy Butler wanted a 2-year deal worth like 100 some million. So that's like 50 million a year. Obviously, Jimmy Butler is older, and Pat Riley, he doesn't want to pay Jimmy Butler all that money. He just doesn't want to pay him all that money. And I don't blame him. Like Jimmy Butler, I think Jimmy Butler is 36. He's either 35 or he's 34. My bad. Jimmy Butler is 34. So basically, in a year, it's like after this year. So basically, in a year is what, 36, 37. You're going to give a dude $50 million. I don't think he's really worth that. In my opinion, yes, he has helped that team go to the finals twice. So you can't. Basically in the 2020s, he has taken that team to the finals twice, and you got to give him credit for that. He's playoff Jimmy for a reason. He shows up in the playoffs. So I don't like. I get it, but it's like I don't think you're worth that. And then now there's reports saying that he's gonna opt out of that deal. Well, next time he's gonna opt out. I think me personally, obviously, it's a year now. It's a year from now, so everything could change. But I'm just going off of this year. I think that he might resign with the Heat. Maybe he might resign with them in middle of the season. I don't know. But for now, he's saying that he's gonna opt out of his deal and test free agency. And he says he wants to stay in Miami. And Jimmy Butler, I don't know, like Philly would be a good pick. I saw reports saying they're still gonna try and get him and give him the max. They're willing to give him the max, but the Heat are not. And I feel like you gotta think about it. Like, if you want a max and you know a team with familiarity, I would say go to Philly. But if you really love Miami, there's no problem staying with Miami. But me personally, Miami, they're just not. I think they're a mid team. Like, they're not going to win a championship. Yeah, they're going to fight. They're going to be competitive. But I think that's just a mid team. So Jimmy Butler, like, opting out, I'm kind of not. I'm shocked, but not shocked really. But it's not. I'm not opposed to it. I'm really not opposed to it. But let's see what, like, Jimmy Butler. Obviously, he's in a trade. He's in a trade market. And Paul George, Klay Thompson. Let's see what they do in free agency and all the rest of free agency. Like, it's just getting started. And I think, like, it might be where these three players might switch teams. Maybe not Jimmy Butler, but I think Paul George and Klay Thompson, they might be on different teams this summer. Just gotta wait and see. Okay, so the last thing I want to do, I want to rank the teams, and I want to rank the NBA champions in the 2020s. I want to rank the 2020 Lakers, the 2021 Bucks, the 2022 Warriors, the 2023 Nuggets, and the 2024 Celtics that just won a championship. So in my list, at first, I have the Lakers. I have the 2020 Lakers. I think that team, obviously, you had LeBron, to some, a younger LeBron, and Anthony Davis. He was amazing like that year in the bubble. Obviously, you had the bigs, you had the shooting in KCP, Danny Green, JaVale McGee, Dwight Howard. Obviously, people, man in the paint. You had all of that, and that team was so good defensively. Like, they were like top 3 in defense. And if you get LeBron basically at his best and Anthony Davis at his best, man, that's a hard team to beat. And with that defense, yeah, that's a hard team. So at number one, I got the Lakers. I got 2020 Lakers at number one. Number two, I got the 2023 Nuggets, man. I think the Nuggets, like, you got Jokic. Jamal Murray was good for them, man. And Eric Gordon, Michael Porter Jr., they were really good, man. And then you had Bruce Brown, Christian Braun, and Jeff Green coming off the bench for them. Like, that team was really good, bro. Like, don't get me wrong. I think they only lost, what, 3? No, they lost like 4 times because they lost to the Heat in the finals once. They lost to the Suns twice. They didn't lose to the Lakers, and they lost to Timberwolves once. So yeah, they went 16-4 in that playoff run. That team was good, man. I'm not gonna lie. So I got the 2023 Denver Nuggets as the number 2 best team out of these champions. Number 3, I think you could argue this, but I got the Celtics, man. The Celtics, bro, they have everything. If everybody's healthy, obviously, you got Jason Tatum, you got Jaylen Brown, you got the best perimeter, the best defensive backcourt in the NBA, in my opinion, at least, and Drew Holiday and Derek White. Then you got the big man in Kristaps Porzingis. Then coming off your bench, obviously Sam Hauser, Peyton Pritchard, you know those guys. But Al Horford, he was really significant in this playoff run recently. But they're just so good offensively and defensively that that's really hard to stop. So you can really argue that they could be number 2, but I'm gonna keep them in number 3. I'm definitely keeping them in number 3. At number 4, I I got the 2021 Bucks. I think the Bucks team, like that Bucks team was good. Like Drew Holiday obviously was good. Chris Middleton, he was really good. Giannis, we know about Giannis, man. He dropped a 50 burger in game 6. PJ Tucker was coming off the bench. Bobby Porter was coming off the bench. That team was good. I'm not gonna cap, but I would feel like if they had to go up against like some of these other like champions, I think they would kind of lack the shooting a little bit. But defensive wise, they would be good. Oh, I forgot about Brook Lopez. Brook Lopez was good too, but I just feel like these other teams are just better than this Milwaukee team. But if Giannis gonna play like how he was doing in Game 6, it'll be a problem. But I got the 2021 Bucks at number 4. Now my last team, obviously, it's the 2022 Warriors. Like the Warriors, like they were a good team, but it was kind of like Steph. Steph was basically carrying them. Klay Thompson was decent. Draymond Green was good. Andrew Wiggins, obviously, in that finals against the Celtics, he was. You can argue he could have been Finals MVP, but he was really good at that finals. And Jordan Poole, he was had a good series against the Nuggets, but I feel like after all the other series, he was just okay. But they still don't have size. So that hurts. That hurts the Warriors. So I just don't think the Warriors, like, even though the greatness of Steph, I just don't think that team is just better than these other teams, like the Lakers, Nuggets, Celtics, and Bucks. I just don't think they're better than them. And it's funny how this is the 6th champion. Like, it's just a 6 different champion. Like, maybe there might be no more dynasties and stuff like that. Back-to-back champions. Do the Celtics, would I say they have a chance to repeat? Yeah, I think they got a chance, but would it shock me if it's another champion next year? Not really, because that's what it's been the last 6 years. It's been the Raptors. It's been the Raptors, Lakers, Bucks, Warriors, Nuggets, and now the Celtics. Like, we're getting a different champion every year, and I think that's good for the NBA. You're getting something new, and we're seeing something different. So I like that. But that is it for the Full Court Entertainment Podcast. I'm your host, Sheldon Moore, and I'll see you guys next week. Peace.